Welcome to the Spirit and Sexuality podcast. I'm your host, Natasha Joy. I'm a spiritualist, tantrika, energy worker, and embodiment and intimacy facilitator and coach. I grew up in Pakistan to Indian parents, heavily conditioned by religious and social taboos. I learned to break free from social pressures and conditioning, and I want to inspire you to do the same. This podcast is about sacred sexuality, human relationships, manifestation, sex magic, empowerment, creating and living a life by your design. Our experiences and what happens to us doesn't define us. We create our reality all the time. So join me as we create an empowered life. Today's guest is Jami Mahmood, a renowned Pakistani filmmaker whose films Mother, More, and 021 received critical acclaim in the international arena. You can find his films on IMDb. So Jami now lives in America with his family since becoming the center of sexual court battles, which take him back to Pakistan every so often still. He currently has a case of defamation and a gag order for members accused of alleged sexual assault. The defamation case started in 2016 as a result of Jami defending a number of women who had made statements in the form of letters that they had been sexually assaulted by members of the Pakistani media industry. Some of you that tuned into the first episode would have heard me share my experience of sexual assault made by that same person in the statements of these women. Jami's courage was what had inspired me 5 years ago to share what happened to me. Sadly, many of these women backed down due to the lack of laws in Pakistan for rape or assault, and it is very difficult to prove it in court. Our guest on the show today is the last man standing for these women. Jami, welcome to Spirit and Sexuality.
Thank you, Natasha. Thank you for having me. Actually, this episode is the heaviest thing in a good way. The things I have said, the things I haven't said ever. I have come out with this. I mean, only my wife knows. Even my mother doesn't know.
It's been such a privilege to be connected to you, a man with real heart and integrity in a dark society. Not only are you the last man standing up for women you hardly know who have been sexually assaulted, but you also came out publicly with your own traumatic experience of assault. Being well known in the commercials and film industry in Pakistan, it would have taken so much courage to say it out publicly like you did. So what inspired you to come out with something so big?
Okay, so Natasha, basically, I was not supposed to tell anything to anyone except my wife. But then Me Too movement happened, and consciously or unconsciously, it just gave me the power to talk. And then we read a letter of a victim, and we got a defamation case. It was all because of these women coming out and slowly pouring their heart. And that did give us a huge platform. And a lot of negativity also came with it, because like any movement, is shifting its shape and its ethics and morality. Unconsciously, we just one night while we were fighting the case of that the letter of the victim, something happened in Lahore University. A professor hung himself, or allegedly he was accused of assault, and he never did it. So he wrote a letter and hung himself. Somehow the whole thing turned into an anti-Me Too movement, and we got attacked also. I got attacked also that you were pushing men in a corner. So at 1 o'clock, I still remember 1 o'clock at night, 1:15 a.m. And I just said everything on Twitter, and that became a huge bombshell. Not because I'm some big celebrity, but I am somebody in Pakistan, and because I didn't use his name, so nobody knew who I was talking about.
So, this is when you went public about your own brutal sexual assault. How did you think people in the industry would react?
I didn't know that I am going into a hellhole. I thought I'll be helping. I'll be helped by my friends, what you call left progressives, journalists. Everybody will come and hug me and just like, okay, good, this is a good job. I thought my assault was bad. I mean, to be very honest, it was a single person. After coming out, it was a whole gang.
So, you didn't get the compassion and support you expected?
That still bothers me immensely because my buddies, my friends, the journalists, because my assaulter is a media giant. I mean, he's a giant. He owns everything. And so everybody just vanished. The third day, people start vanishing. So that's what I call gang rape. That completely destroyed me till today after 3 years, 4 years. That was shocking to me, and coming out wasn't very planned.
So, you came out about your own sexual assault, and this is now what you have a gag order for. So, you're not allowed to talk about this. Is there anything you would like to share with the audience today?
Yeah, Natasha, I was 33. I was working as a freelance photographer and a filmmaker. So I did 3 books for him. And so we were doing that. And for free, I was doing it for free. I was not charging. And this is my early years. I was 33, 34. And I just got married 3 years back and got a son. And I'm autistic. And my work really, really hit him hard. My work was very, very good at that time. And so he was just trying to like make a prodigy out of me or something. He's the one who's gonna launch me or something. Blah blah blah. He even changed my name to Mirza Jami in the book. He said, "No, you are Mirza," because my name is Mirza Jamshed Raza Mehmed, but I call myself Jami in that mystery. So I said, can I talk to you? I need to meet you about Eastern Studio. He said, come over. So it was 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. I met his mother. We had a lunch together. She was alive at that time. So after lunch, we went to his office again. Same shit, office at home, in the bedroom. I'm like, huh? What? Why are we here? And said, just sit down. And Natasha, like a fool. I said, no, I over-exercised. I have lactic acid in my legs, and my muscles are sore, so I have to stand. I cannot sit right now. I cannot bend my leg right now. And lightning bolt struck him as if he stood up like he's like a teenager. Like, okay, come on, I'll fix you up. Come on. You need a massage. I'm like, what? No. I said, whoa, just wait. I'm like, what's going on? Massage. And then, I've never spoken this to anyone. People don't believe me. He's a freak. He's a monster. People think he's old, frail. This guy is a Weinstein. He's something else. Brutal, strong, crazy man. And he will not let you talk. One of those things, you cannot even say something like I'm like, wait, hold. And so and it was such a simple thing for him. Natasha, the door was open, his room door was open. His servant came later to get me tea, and he went back to his joint. I made up a call, fake call. I said, I'll start talking like, what happened? My son fell? What are you saying? As if my wife is on the other line. There was no call, nothing. I said, I have to run, I have to run, I have to run. I said, yes. So
Many people who have been raped or sexually assaulted feel confused or unsure about what just happened to them. And they feel a certain sense of disassociation. Is that what happened to you?
Natasha, I don't know. It's like in movies, you see a rape scene and then it happens and you're like, wait, is this really happening? Is this really happening? Like, and literally people say it looks like, it seems like a dream. And I don't know how to even explain what what the hell was going on. And I still remember, Natasha, I was at the door leaving. He came again, he assaulted me. As if I will be turned on or something. I will stay back. And I'm like, just like, what the hell? And he wears a very big ring. And I'm still cut from inside till today. It never healed. And he inserted his finger inside of me and it just cut me up. He didn't even realize what the hell he was doing. And
Did you ever talk to him about it afterwards?
Never. He came to my father's funeral a month later, or 2 months, 3 months later, and we didn't. And I just screamed, yelled in front of everyone. My funeral is happening in the house here, and with all his entourage and blah blah blah. And I screamed, I said, "Amma, Ammi, he cannot come inside." Ammi is like, well, Ammi was crying on Papa's funeral, and he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, no, we cannot come inside. And she's like, huh? What do you mean? She can't come inside. And my wife took over. My wife told my producer, the woman who was producing my film, she ran outside. She stopped him at the gate. We stopped him at the gate, and you cannot come inside.
Did ever any men stand up to support you?
Natasha, is very interesting. Men, the gang, I call it gang rape actually, after coming out, was the bigger trauma. I'm telling you very honestly, what I've gone through, I handled it myself for 17 years. I handled it. But coming out, I was attacked by millions, thousands of men saying, you're lying, you're bullshit, how old were you? I'm like, they don't understand the freeze and flight. They just don't get it. I don't get it either. I'm like, okay, fine, but what happened? Till because of people like you, they talked and they told me, Jami, there is this thing called freeze. I'm like, what? That happens? Because all this time I thought, like, why didn't I kill him?
I think the fight or flight strategies are more well-known defense responses to a traumatic situation or a stressful situation. But the freeze is definitely an identified trauma response when triggered out of fear, basically. And it leaves you in shock and paralyzed to be able to make a decision to respond to the traumatic situation that is taking place at the time. Because we're all different and we all have different ways of responding to situations based on our childhood conditioning, our impressions, our attachment styles, our dependencies.
It's so important to talk about these things so I can heal my spirit and just move on and get out of this loop. Always angry, fighting, and truly help people and myself and my family.
Yes, I agree with you. Talking about it is very important. Expressing the emotion behind the trauma. It's when we express the emotion, are we externalizing it and getting it out of our system? And that is then the first step of healing. And also in a freeze response situation, and it's only when you start talking about it that you begin to unfreeze your mind and begin to be able to make sense of it all again. How did this trauma impact your life, Jami?
For 17 years, I handled it pretty well, actually. I was working and doing all my best of the best work right after my trauma. So, of course, it became very dark. All my music videos, strings music video, all became very, very nasty, dark videos, even though they had a very good storyline, but there was everything, even more, is very traumatic. Everything is just based on all my work. But reading the letter from that day on till today is a new chapter in my life, that when you connect with a lot of people, a lot of junk comes your way, and very few good people that connect with you. And on Twitter, two people came out from Nurul Huda, I think. Nurul Huda. Her daughter called me up and she explained this whole thing, that she was going to the Mortar Palace thing. It's so ironic. She was going, and her mom stopped her and she told her whole story, how this man raped a man, and that the guy has left Pakistan and blah blah blah. And one more person came out. He only said, "I know this happens." And then, see, Natasha, what happened was, when I named him, all these journalists, all these people attacked me. First, they went silent completely. All the major ones, 3-4 days, their phone was off. Off. On Twitter, people accused me
Of what?
they accused me of being part of army to bring Dawn down, and so many things. Not realizing I'm a proper filmmaker. I have a life. My movie was almost in Oscars. It went around everywhere to Europe and it's still running on Apple TV. So I have a life. I'm a film director. I'm not an activist. And most importantly, there's nothing above my family, my wife, my daughters, my son. Why would I destroy them for helping army? It's like, is it insane?
That's totally insane. And you wouldn't just cook up an allegation like that to falsely charge someone, but also put yourself at risk by putting your family and your reputation at risk.
And that is the weird part. The trauma never ends. The assault ends. You are done, and okay, you can go home and just take a bath and blah blah blah. Burn the clothes. That's what my wife did. Everything was done. Okay, and then just the loop stops, and you are in the loop for 17 years. You're working. You're thinking about that only. So
the mental psychological trauma doesn't end.
I see purest truth, the most brutal honesty you can tell, because there's nothing to hide, there's nothing to lie, and everything is already out. So I can say whatever I want now. It's also a very liberating thing that I'm out there. And but on the same hand, when you're out in a society where you don't talk about these things, even women don't talk about this, forget about men. It's you standing on at an intersection, and everybody throws shoes at you and crap at you, and somebody will come and hug you also. So it's very brutal.
I find it interesting that there were not many men that came forward to show you support or any compassion for what happened to you in your sexual assault experience.
It's interesting, but honestly, Natasha was 99% female.
Mm.
who supported me.
Yeah.
And that's why, everything, I have become a hardcore feminist, hardcore feminist. I believe in women and womanhood. There's something
Yeah.
different about them. And
Well,
the way they...
women definitely have more empathy because they are emotional beings. They're driven by their heart. And so when you come from a place of feeling, then you can enable healing, or you can support healing in someone else.
All my work is all about, says everything about that. All my music videos are women centric. They are feminist. My movie was a feminist. It's called Mother, and everything is all about entire system which corrupts and the soul. I'm not talking about corruption. I'm talking about the issues people deal with. So everything goes through the same doorway. So that door is pretty clear for me, that I will do what I think is right, and wherever it leads, let's pay the price. Now it's very clear as a formula. Before that, it wasn't clear that why am I doing this, but I know this is my door. This is the only way anything can come in and go out, and it has to be pure truth. And it keeps me in check, and it makes me a better human also.
Moving forward, in your life now, with these experiences, with all this truth, with contempt of court notices, gag orders, defamation cases, all of this, what advice would you give to people in similar situations who have not spoken their truth?
It's a very good question, Natasha. First thing, if you have a little bit of courage, and then just go ahead and understand the court system, how the defamation works. Most of the time, if you're telling the truth, nothing happens, and the case keeps on going forever and ever and ever.
So the court is probably not the right place for a person to heal.
Oh, no. That's the biggest trauma, actually. It's insane. It's madness. And there are more men out there protecting the soul, I'm told. But, so if you have enough courage to fight, just go ahead. Name the guy, because he will do it to someone else. Stop the cycle. And that was our plan. Just go vocal and scare the shit out of him. So he's like, okay, at least from this day on, he's scared. And people know not to go to his house, not to the drawing room, not to the home office shit, no more Febreze spray. You just stay away.
Yeah.
So that's the plan. You need just 2-3 good friends, Natasha. Just 2-3 good friends who can hold on, who don't shift.
Yeah.
But that's all it needs. Seriously, nothing else matters. No money, no nothing. Just 2-3 friends who believe in you and who knows you're telling the truth. And that is the nuclear power you need, and nothing else.
Yeah, and that's better than going to going down medication route and taking medications to dull the pain, the emotional pain, or the spiritual pain that you're feeling in your body.
And especially, Natasha, one more thing, that 4% must understand your trigger days. Or why are you being so pissed off today? These people stand like, whoa, wait a second, what happened? Okay, we will let us handle this one.
So basically, again, coming from a place of compassion and not judgment. And that's not just for your friends, but that's for the community as well.
But this is so critical that we need people to stand and talk.
So everyone, I think that's something we can all learn when we hear stories of people that have had experiences and they're emotional and they're traumatic, to come from a place of compassion and love and listening, just listening with your heart rather than listening to judge.
Absolutely.
So thank you for coming out and speaking out, for inspiring others to speak out, for not being ashamed, and for letting go of the shame, and for embracing this truth and this journey of healing, and continuing to fight in court for cases that are not really yours. They're not your battles. I mean, one of them is your direct battle, but the other one is not your battle, but you're still standing there and you're the only one there fighting. So thank you, Jami, and may the forces of light continue to be with you.
Natasha, again, thank you. This podcast has charged me up for 3-4 months. Honestly, I'm gonna stand and fight now. Thank you again. Thank you for everything, boss.
And it's, you don't even just have to fight. Like, just being who you are is enough.
Absolutely.
Just being in your truth, just standing there knowing that people have got your back, and there's people that believe in you, and that people will do anything, to make the truth be heard. That is so powerful for you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And to all those who tuned in to listen to Jami's experience today, a really brave moment here being witnessed. Thank you. May we all find the strength we need within us to speak our truth, whatever that may be, because the truth truly sets us free. If you want to connect with Jami, you can find him as Jami Azad on Twitter. If you have an experience to share or would like to reach out to me, you can write to me at spiritandsexuality@gmail.com. Until next time, stay aligned, stay sexy, stay tuned. This is Spirit and Sexuality.